Hi guys, I'm coming to you with a very exciting video today. We are talking all about consistency on social media as a content creator, but specifically my own consistency hack. I speak about this, I want to say all the time, but I feel like I speak about a lot of stuff all the time. But I've mentioned this hack quite a few times, and those of you who have tried it have absolutely sworn by it and said it's massively helped you on your journey, right? So I decided, let's bring it to the masses, let's talk about it on YouTube, and that is exactly what I'm about to do. Before we get to it though, I'm really trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm not that close. Like, I've got a little while to go, but I really think that plaque is gonna look great in my living room. So if you could subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or share my channel with someone else who you think would like my content, I would be incredibly grateful. Okay, enough of the plug. Let's get to the content. So let's talk about consistency on social media and what that actually means, because I feel like people often get consistency and scheduling confused. So when we talk about scheduling on social media, we're talking about the actual schedule that you follow when it comes to posting. So we're talking about the day that you post per week. We're talking about the time that you post per week. We're talking about how often you post per week. Like, that's the scheduling side of consistency. Where the actual consistency comes in is your ability to stick to that schedule. So what's important to note is that the schedule is completely up to you. I have loads of different videos which will help you pick your schedule. For example, I've got a video all about the best time to post on Instagram if Instagram is your chosen channel. I'll link to it up here. But I have other videos as well, which I'll link to in the description, which might help you if you're unsure on when you should be posting, right? But the schedule is completely up to you. So it's important that you commit yourself to a posting schedule which actually works for your lifestyle, in addition to, of course, working for your audience. A big trap that I see a lot of people fall into is they will say, okay, well, my audience are online at 3 a.m. so I'm gonna make sure I post every day at 3 a.m. But are you online at 3 a.m.? Like, are you up? Because if you're not, then you posting every day at 3 a.m. is completely unachievable, right? You've got to find a posting schedule which works for your lifestyle and also for your audience. You're going to struggle to remain consistent if you don't find one what works for both. So when it comes to the consistency side, now we're talking about your ability to consistently keep up with that schedule. So it's all about your ability to post on those days and at those times that you've already decided to post at. The more you do that, the more consistent you are. The reason why consistency is so important for content creators and for anyone who's trying to grow their online presence via social media is because, well, actually there's a bunch of different reasons. One of the main reasons is to do with your audience. When you consistently produce really great, valuable content and you stick to a certain schedule when it comes to you producing that content, you're actually training your audience to expect content from you at a certain time every week. And that's a super valuable thing to do. People will start to look out for your content, and people will actually start to weave your posting schedule into their lifestyle, if that makes sense. Someone once messaged me saying, I didn't post on a Wednesday afternoon one week, and someone messaged me saying, hey, just wondering if you're okay and if you're posting today, because I usually watch your videos on my way to work. And I was like, stop. But that is the perfect example of how consistency can actually allow you to integrate yourself into your audience's life, which is so powerful. There's a bunch of other reasons as well, but the other most notable reason is because most algorithms across most social networking platforms will favor creators who are consistent. This doesn't mean that if you fall off once or twice, or if you take a break every now and again, you're going to lose your audience and you'll never get any views or reach again. That's not what this means. It just means that if you consistently upload content around the same time every week or every day for a long period of time, algorithms will pick up on that and you'll be flagged as a consistent creator, and that's going to help you rank highly on different algorithms and just basically reach a new audience. Okay guys, now it's time to talk about my hack. So my consistency hack is called the min-max method, right? Titled it myself, hope you love it. So how this hack basically works is you set a minimum and a maximum target for your posting frequency across all of your channels. I'll give you a real life example, okay? My minimum target for my posting frequency on YouTube is once per week. My maximum target, so the gold standard that I'm really trying to aim for, is twice a week. On Instagram, my minimum is 3 times a week. My maximum is 5 times a week. On TikTok, my minimum is once per day, and and my maximum is 3 times per day. Obviously, my min and max targets do vary by platform, and that's because every platform is different. But you can clearly see from my examples that it's possible to come up with a minimum and a maximum target across any channel that you're on. Now, the reason why the min-max method works is because it allows for life to get in the way. Let me paint you a picture, right? Let's say you have been doing an old school way of consistency and you've told yourself, I want to post every day on Instagram, right? That is my only target. I want to post every single day on Instagram. If I don't post every day on Instagram, I'm going to be annoyed and I'm going to feel like a failure. What happens when you have a really busy day at work and you just do not get the time to post that reel that you want to post? What happens when you fall ill? Like I was ill all of this week. What happens when you fall ill and you can't post anymore? Or you've got a cold and you just want to spend the day in bed? Like what happens when life gets in the way and you're unable to post 1 or 2 days that week? Well, I'll tell you what happens. What happens is you don't post because obviously other things can come above social media, guys, right? You don't post and then you feel like a failure. And then the rest of the week is the write-off. The rest of the month might be a write-off. You just feel like you have failed and there is no point in you trying to be consistent now because you've managed to mess up the few days where you were supposed to be consistent in the first place, right? Now, you might be able to tell from the way that I painted such a vivid picture that that is the exact experience that I used to go through back in the day. A few years ago, I used to struggle to be consistent on social media, and that is the exact process I would go through when I set myself a goal and then I wouldn't hit it, which is why I came up with the min-max method. So this way, if you have an off day at work or an off week or whatever, you know that it's okay. You don't have to hit your max goal that day or that week. What you do need to try and hit is your minimum goal. And your minimum goal should be something which is really comfortable for you to hit, right? It shouldn't be like so easy that it only requires you to do, you know, I don't know, 1 post a month, but it should be very comfortable. And your maximum goal should be a bit of a stretch. So it's the goal that you hit when you are really like absolutely killing life and everything's going your way and you've got loads of time in your hands, right? That's what your maximum goal should be. And that's essentially the min-max method. Now, before you click off the video thinking, great, I've got the hack, I'm gonna go implement it, there are a few things that you should really bear in mind what's gonna really help you on your consistency journey. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff that you're gonna wanna be doing alongside this min-max hack to really ensure that you're setting yourself up for maximum consistency. So the first thing is to have a really strong purpose or mission behind the content that you're creating. And what I mean by this is essentially like having a why, right? It's having a real clear idea of why it is that you're creating the content that you're creating and writing that down and having it somewhere which is really easily accessible for you. The reason why I stress this when it comes to consistency is because when you are really clear on the real reason why you're trying to create your content and when you've got a really great mission behind it, and it's not just I want to make money, it's deeper than that. It's like I want to help others, I want to create a community, I want to spread awareness, I want to educate, like something with deep meaning. When you have that written down, you can actually review it on days where you just are really struggling to find the motivation or the discipline to create content, right? That really helps me on the days where I'm like, I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to get on camera. I can't be bothered to post another TikTok, like, because trust me, it happens to all of us, right? Don't think that there's people out there who just absolutely love posting every single day and it's never a chore for them. It is a chore for all of us at some point. But when you have a really clear why, that's going to really help you get you out of that flunk, and it will basically remind you, you know, why it is you do what you do. And for me personally, that's really helped me when I've had days where I've been flagging. It's helped me kind of kick back into gear and get back on my posting schedule. The next thing is to get organized. Like this one I can't stress enough. Make sure you've got some form of organization system going on. Like I have so many folders in my phone for all of the different content that I create and capture on a regular basis. I've even got a folder for my story content. I've got like a time-lapse folder, all of that stuff. My laptop is organized within an inch of its life. My Drive, my Google Drive documents are also very organized. My Canva is an organized as it should be. But the point is that I spend a lot of time making sure that I'm organizing myself in a way which allows me to be consistent with ease. Don't make things harder for yourself by not putting your reels or, you know, your future TikToks in their own designated album. So when the time comes to post, you're now scrolling through photos because you can't find them. Don't make things harder for yourself. Make things as easy as they possibly can be. And one of the best ways you can do this is by being really organized on the back end. Another tip, and of course you knew I was going to say this, is to batch create your content. Not everyone can batch create content. It very much depends on your niche. But if you are in the kind of niche where you can actually spend a day or two or afternoon just knocking out loads of content back to back, then I 100% recommend that you do that. I have a whole video on batch creating content. It's called, I think it's Batch Creating Content 101. I'll link to it up here so that you can give it a watch and find out further info. And last but not least, use a scheduling tool. There are so many good scheduling tools out there. Agorapulse, Facebook Studio, Later, Plannerly, there's loads, right? Do some research, sign up to some free trials, and start scheduling out your social media content. Most of the tools that I've just mentioned, with the exception of Facebook Studio, actually allow you to schedule out content across multiple platforms, not just Instagram. So I 100% recommend checking them out. I'll put a link to them in my description. But using a scheduling tool is amazing, not only because it allows you to schedule out all of your content, and on occasion, depending on what platform you're using and the type of content you're creating, you can even have your content be posted automatically to your various social media channels. Not only can it do that, but it actually allows you to do things like write your captions ahead of time, which for me personally is the #1 benefit of using a scheduling tool, is that I can write my captions ahead of time, because writing captions live, like, stress. That is why people post with just an emoji, right? Because they're like on a train with 5 minutes left to post their photo and they're like, oh my God, what do I say? That is where a scheduling tool comes in handy. Okay, that is it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful. If you did, I recommend hanging around and watching this video. It is all about how you can actually become a 6-figure content creator in 2022. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video.